Welcome back to InnerCircle,
where we talk about faith, family, finance, and friendship.
So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on all social media platforms.
And make sure to turn your notifications on to be notified whenever we post new content. Now straight to the episode.
Hi guys.
Hey.
It's Heaven.
And Nyja.
And welcome back to InnerCircle.
I get so ready to say, well, we talk about faith, family, finance, and friendship.
And I be like, don't say it, baby. Because what I'm telling you is I'm going to scramble it up like an egg.
Like an egg?
Like, start over. Yeah, that's what I was saying. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, you look cute.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Got the hair out.
This was, do we really want to talk about it?
Okay, give us a second.
Because this was by accident.
Yeah, right.
And you know this was by accident.
I think that I opened up a door. We wasn't ready for it at the beginning.
But I will walk straight through it.
Just did the intro.
I will bust the door open. But to answer your question, I'm good.
Good.
It's great. This month is definitely jam-packed with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of graduations going on. Layla graduates this weekend. Well, by the time this is aired, it'll be, but this month.
Yeah.
Makai promoted to the 9th grade. My baby's going to be in high school. Oh my gosh. Lyric is going to kindergarten. Jaden is going to the 7th grade. It's just a lot going on.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And my kid's going to the 7th grade. I don't got no other kids for you. You named 20 kids. I said, that's all I got.
Because I want you to be for real. Yeah. But that's good though.
Yeah, that is. But I've been okay. I've been trucking through, baby.
Trucking
on through.
That's good.
Yeah, I recently, all the time I have conversations with God, but this specific conversation this week, I think I asked for this. Pretty much I asked the Lord to read me and he doesn't mind, doing his job. And so I said, Lord, like, what characteristics, like, what can I do better? What am I lacking or what am I not doing enough of or what do I need to stop? And he said, daughter, you're mean. I said, well, maybe I ain't really here.
Because what?
Because the Lord will read me like he reads me. I think because that's just my personality. You got to get straight to it. Mm-hmm. Don't pacify me. Don't paticate me. You just got to tell me what it is so I can evolve and do better. And so I started going over my life and just saying, yeah, that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard it growing up. I've heard it in church, in school, at work. Like, it's a lot of places where they be like, you don't really have a middle ground. Either you're always happy and loving or you mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
No, I've told you that too before.
Yeah.
But I can only tell you that because I identified that in myself as well.
Exactly.
I've definitely worked on that. And I'm not blaming nobody but me. Like, at the end of the day, what were you saying? Like, the trauma isn't your responsibility. How did you say
trauma isn't your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. Because a lot of the times what I find that I was doing was, well, this is how I was raised. Or I'm like this because this person that raised me was like that and was aggressive and was mean. So I feel like that, sure, that contributed to how you are. But that does not land you to who you need to become. And so I said, the trauma, I got to say, that's what it was. But the healing, my job, that's me. Because then I start bleeding on other people and that's not fair. So I had to analyze and say, okay, I could be a better mother. I could be a better friend. I get aggravated sometimes. I could be a better daughter. I could be a better sister. And so this week I just started to try to, don't say nothing heavy. Just relax. Because I'm real, people like to use the word aggressive, so to speak. Hard. All of these words that I'm not taking offense to, I used to, but now I'm like, it's the truth. If so many people saying it, baby, you got to believe it.
I mean, or passionate.
Passionate, sure, but that's a pacified word.
It is.
To say, oh, she just passionate. That's how she is. But you yelling and calm down. Use some of the negative things and turn it into positivity. Yes, you are passionate, but use more positive words. Be nicer. Soften the tone up a little bit.
Yep, that sounds about right for me too. Growing up, that's why I said I'm not casting blame on nobody. I've hit a new level in my life. I started therapy. It's going absolutely amazing. I'm real calm. You know what I mean? I had an experience, and I'm going to talk about this here because we're here now, right? And because it was a test for me, right? So usually, you know how these Tampa stylists, not all of them, I'm not going to put everybody in the same category, but the professionalism is lacking so bad. Not just stylists, musicians, singers, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just not, you come across more negative experiences now, unfortunately, than you do positive. Not saying that we don't have any positive, but it's just far few in between. And so I had an appointment that I was supposed to go to on Monday. And unfortunately, the young lady decided that she texted me the morning of, a couple hours or whatever, and said that she needed to reschedule because of whatever reason. I said, okay, cool, no problem. Now, back in the day, I ain't gonna hold you. I would have been like, what you mean?
Yeah.
You know? But then the Lord has been working on my character and me being able to just stay this way, not fluctuate up, down, just real level, you know? So I proceeded to have a very professional conversation. At the end of it, I was to blame. I need to calm down. Mind you, I have not, and I have receipts.
I'm not calmed up.
Right. Hello? I ain't got hype yet. So I'm not sure where the lack of accountability is. And I'm very proud of myself. I actually posted it on Instagram and Facebook because I feel like it was a test that I'm not going to lie and say that my flesh did not want to rise and say, here I go. But I did not allow that situation to pull me out of where I wanted to maintain my peace. And it reminds me of, there's a book that I just finished reading about being emotionally mature, like spiritually mature. And one illustration that it gave was a soda bottle. And it talks about when you are like going through anger problems or, you know, your temperament is off, how if you are involved in a situation, the best thing to do is to pause. Our pastor preaches about it all the time. Pause, ponder, pray, proceed, right? So you need to pause. And if you still feel that way, 30 minutes, an hour from now, just keep waiting it out until you feel like you're able to convey whatever you're trying to get across. And so this illustration, to prove the point of pausing, it was a soda bottle. And I was going to bring a soda bottle, I forgot, right? But there's a soda bottle. And if you shake that soda bottle up, right, you open it up immediately, what is it going to do? It's going to explode.
Everywhere.
And that's what our emotions are. On the inside, you feeling some type of way. I mean, and you want to go off. So you open it and it's just a mess. Not just on you, as we talked about, but on everybody and everything that's around you. And so now after the fact, after the fizz is gone down and the soda is calm, you have a mess to clean up.
Yes.
And that's what our spirit is. But if you would just wait, if you sit the soda there, come back to it, maybe an hour, even if it's the next day, whatever it is, it won't have as much pressure on the inside that you need to release. You may have a little fizz here and there, but it's not a detriment to have to clean up. And so I was like, that's a good analogy for me to think about when I am in the process of about to read somebody and it's not from the Bible, right? But then the Holy Spirit took it a step further. He said, that's good. That's good that you feel that way. He said, but if you don't have soda at all, if you shake up a water bottle, I don't care when you open it, it's not going to do anything because the content of water has nothing. There's no additive, there's no preservative. He is the living water. If you replace the soda that you have with me, with the word of God, and empty out the soda that you have, then it doesn't matter what comes your way. When you in any situation, when you open up your mouth, only thing that's going to come out is me.
Yeah.
I said, well, you don't have to really, you know.
He love to read.
You don't have to really do.
Yeah.
You know, but I got it. So in that process, my prayer has not been, I want to get faster at responding in a capacity where I don't have to say, one momento, I'll be back before I cuss you out.
Yeah.
I ain't got to say that.
Right.
It's like I can process while it's happening and my temperament is the same and you have no idea that I really am aggravated right now, but my response remains neutral.
Yeah.
That's my goal. It's because that's when you become spiritually mature. You are not a babe in Christ anymore. You're not like tossed and turned and driven by how your emotions. Our emotions are powerful, but they should not lead us. And so growing up, I definitely, I was taught one thing, meaning like, growing up, it's like, oh, you're so emotional, you crying all the time, you got this. So I just turned them off. I became distant from them to the point it's like, no, your emotions don't control you. You're supposed to be almost like robotic. Like, no feel, don't think that because their emotions are evil. They're going to stay there. But why did we have them?
Yeah.
Why did God give them to us? I think anything that you have that you don't know how to control and maintain, it can be a detriment to you. You eat too much, you get overweight, but food is necessary. You have too much money and you think that you are God, then it can cost you your soul. But you need money to live. The Bible says money answers all things. So too much of anything, if you drink too much water, like literally you can drown, but you need it is 60, 70% of your body. So it's not that emotions are bad. It's bad if you don't know how to maintain and control them.
Yeah. I think I got tired of not being able to control them. And then after the big blow up, I am an emotional being. It would be like, oh my gosh, I hurt this person's feelings. I mean, you've been there multiple times. Okay. It's like, okay. But no, you've been there multiple times where I've blown up, made a huge scene, and then I feel so bad afterwards. It came to a point where I could not control it. Well, I didn't want to control it because growing up, you don't say nothing. I know you have emotions, but that's your parent. You're not allowed to say anything. So a lot of things I felt like were bottled up. And so it was the soda bottle was shaken up for years. And when I got to a point where I'm an adult and can't nobody say, who you talking to? Why you talking to that? Go to your room. Give me your phone. You're not allowed to go here. You're not allowed to go there. Or I can cuss somebody out and I can still go about my business. I was like, oh, it's time to open a soda bottle now. Oh, we're going to explode. And it's nobody else's fault how I grew up.
So you just had gallons of sodas everywhere. Just you get it.
The liters of soda. And honestly, I'm going to be transparent. In the moment, I didn't care who the soda bottle spilled on. Because every time soda was spilled on me, I didn't feel like anybody was there to clean it up.
Wow.
So I said, when people say hurt people, that's the mindset that I was in. I was like, oh, it don't matter. She gonna get it. He gonna get it. They didn't do nothing to me, but I have to get this level of anger out. Because if I don't, then I don't know. I might explode on myself. And then what does that look like? I don't know. Depression, suicide, other thoughts. So I said, I'm not going to do it to me because I love myself, but I'll do it to people I don't care about. But the God we serve, I was always convicted. There was no reason why you spilled on that lady like that. You don't know what she got going on at home. She don't even know you. There was no reason for you to talk to that man like that. That is a stranger at a store. He in there working hard and you mad because he bagging your stuff up slow. That is a personal problem. And over the years, I've decided to change it. But recently, the Lord said, you asked me. And yeah, you've done better, but you're nowhere near where I need you to be. And so for you to go to your next season in your life, you have to fix this. Granted, I don't know all the tools and how to fix it, but I know it's something that has to be fixed.
Yeah. For me, I think that it is how I'm able to fix it is sitting in the moment of it, right? Like I actually embrace emotions now because I can understand them. I don't dismiss them. So if I walk into a room or if I'm entertaining a conversation and I feel uneasy, I then, for a moment, I'm listening, but I'm like, okay, Lord, Holy Spirit, what is that feeling? So I'm asking in the process, why did I feel that? Why was that a trigger for me? And sometimes, again, the more you do it, the faster that you're able to, understand what's happening. But I'm okay now knowing that it's okay. Because at first I was always uptight, like, why do I feel angry? Why do I feel upset? And like something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Like it's okay to feel that way. And sometimes it's not always negative stuff. Like you can, when we feel happy and joy, you don't brush it off. Why do you dismiss the uncomfortable feeling? And I mean, the common answer is because it don't feel good. But all those things are necessary and required in order to prosper in life.
Right.
And so now I am able to have a conversation with somebody because I'm also reading about having healthy conflict.
Yeah.
I used to run from conflict. I used to absolutely run from it. And now I'm like, I embrace it.
You're one of the only people I've ever heard say that. I embrace conflict. People be like, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm not dealing with that.
Healthy conflict.
Right.
It's a difference. Some people do it just because you want to just be out there like, it's I'm not going to have, I'm not even sure this is going into another topic, but I'm not going to have false peace. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing it.
You got to explain what that is because people are not going to know exactly what that means.
So false peace is you and your spouse are in a disagreement. You get in a car and he or she asks you, hey, everything okay? It's not okay. And it actually is a time you getting ready to go on a trip. You can actually have a decent conversation, but you don't want to poke the bear. So you say everything good. And you're thinking, I'm just going to keep the peace. That's false peace. Mm-hmm. You go to a restaurant with your coworkers. You don't have the funds to actually get anything that's, of high ticket. You know what I mean? A lobster or no steak or anything like that. So you decide to order a salad and some water. You say you don't have to say we're gonna die nothing. That's what your choice is. The bill comes around. It's about 8 or 9 of y'all, or 4 or 5 of y'all. And instead of them paying for their own restaurant ticket, they decide to split the bill because it's easier. They don't want to go through the hassle. So they say, hey, we're gonna split the bill and do everything. But you are in a financial bind. Instead of you speaking up, saying, hey, I'm responsible for mine, you go along with it because you don't want to stir the pot. That's false peace. In these moments, you're lying because you don't want to agitate or you trying to keep, the Bible say, live as peaceful as possible. He did say that, but Jesus also was a pot stirrer.
Yeah.
In the most healthiest way, because whom the Son sets free is free indeed, but you can't be free if you lying. You can't be free if you can't have a conversation. You can't be free if you're afraid to calmly and collectively have a conversation that conveys the message you're trying to say without getting upset, without getting angry. And the mindset is, I know how I'm going to say it. I'm not intending to offend you. So I'm going to make sure my tone is here. I'm going to look you in the eye. I'm going to speak from my heart. And I'm going to pray throughout this conversation that the Lord talks to you at the same time he's talking to me. And we're going to stay in this place until we get an understanding to know that my heart is here. And if that's not the case, then we got to, how can two walk together? Except they agree. And if we don't got to walk fast, we're going to do it slow. So we got to put a pin here and come back tomorrow or next week. I'm going to keep doing it until I have real peace because I don't have it right now.
I think for me, it's not that I can't go to somebody. I fear their response because I get my feelings hurt. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not how I meant to say it, or that's not how I wanted you to receive it. And then it turns into a bigger situation than I originally wanted it to be. And so I am kind of the opposite. Well, I'm better now, but I remember in the beginning, it's like, I do have this issue or I do want to bring this up, but I'm not going to say anything because if they feel like, oh, I didn't think it was that serious, or their energy is a little bit different than mine and I'm coming in peace, then now I feel like I got to defend myself. And now we're going back and forth. I done said some stuff I didn't even want to come in here and say. But now to defend myself, I got to say just a bunch of mess. And now we're here, and that wasn't my intention to begin with. So I just used to avoid it all the way.
So for me, I've learned to figure out who I'm talking to first and understand if I learn nothing else, people gonna people. Mm-hmm. So depending on who I'm talking to, I know what I'm going to get because I've been around you long enough to know if I talk to my husband, he's going to understand on this level. He's not going to do X, Y, Z. He's going to be able to look me in my eye intently. I don't have to prove my heart posture, right? And we're not talking about strangers. First of all, let's get that out and clear. Because some people are like, well, this lady in the library tried me. No, we ain't talking about. I'm not going to see her no more. We're talking about people that you care about, whether it's your children, it's your spouse, it's your friends, your sisters, anybody that you are in constant communication, you have a relationship with, that you care about, and you're walking on eggshells with them, or you're in a space where you feel anxious in your spirit because of something that you really got to get off your chest.
Right.
And you don't know how, okay? What I have known God to be is a true peacemaker. And if I have prayed about it and I know where that person is spiritually, I know how to navigate that conversation. And my expectation is to have no expectation. I can't get hurt if I'm not expecting you to respond and say, you know what, give me a hug. If I had that in my mind and you don't do it, now I'm let down. Mm-hmm. Now I got an attitude. And now I'm saying, so I done sit here and put my whole heart on the table and all you said was okay? Why did you have...
Don't never okay me.
But if that's that person's response, you have to respect them as a person to respond in that way, because what was my intention? My intention was to tell you in the most humble, respectful, and loving way, something got to change, or this is the way this made me feel. Or when you said this is how it came across. Ask the question. So what I heard was, when you said this, you asked me, was I finished eating this food? What I heard was, you need to stop eating because you're going to be big. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That's not at all what they said.
Is that what you said?
That's what you interpreted.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it gives you opportunity to say, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But thank you for letting me know. It's going to go two ways. If the person laughs like I just laughed and you're really serious about it, I want you to not be offended to the point where you shut down or you get irate saying, see, you're not ready to have that conversation until you have found peace with God about it, to go to them. Because in the middle of conversation, when you are reigniting the feeling that you experience in the midst of it, you can potentially start a fire.
Yeah.
But healthy conflict means a healthy person spiritually, a mature person. We talking about mature adults, because age does not equate wisdom. If you want to settle it, if you want to be free and having authentic peace, then you can have that conversation and say, hey, let's talk about it. But you got some raw stuff. Like some people they want to go to them talking about being raped or molested or abused. It's serious stuff. Pray about it first. And sometimes it may not be necessary to have that conversation if you know this person is not even trying to fix it. These are for people who you are actively trying to have a healthier relationship now. You want to be in communion with them again. They want to be in communion with you. This is not I gotta get this off my chest. Pray first.
You know what I do? And this is probably not good. I kind of wait for the other person to bring it up. Like, I remember being at my mom's house not too long ago. And she been trying to marry me off for years. Y'all don't worry about it. And she was like, I think you're gonna struggle with like getting a man because you so hard. Mm. Like, you don't show emotion. You're not, what's the word she used? Feminine enough. And I said, me? Like, I'm a girly girl. What are you talking about? She was like, no, like, you don't give like soft and gentle and that you'll be submissive. I'm like, yes, I am. But we opened up the door for real conversation then. And my mom is a person that you can talk to and you can tell her how you feel. And she's going to say, okay, I hear you. I get it. She's never been, no, I don't want to hear that. No, I wasn't this person as a mom. She'll hear you out. And so I honestly was like, you didn't really give me the chance to be soft growing up. Like, you were really hard on me in a sense of, okay, baby, you crying, but you got 2 minutes to get it together. And I never knew why she operated like that. And she told me that that's how she was raised. So she kind of projected it on me. And then she does this thing where she's like, well, let's call Nyja to see if she ever seen you be feminine and sensitive. And she's like, yeah, all the time. And I was like, well, my friends give me the space to have the emotion, to cry, to act in my femininity. Yeah, I'm messing that word up, but to just be soft and gentle. She was like, I don't give you the space to do so. I was like, no. So I think that's why when I'm around my family, I am hard, because if you cry, what's going on? What you crying for? You got to hurry up and get it out the way. So I kind of am two different people with them and not with them. Like with them, I'm like, all right, hard, like, okay, whatever, like, let's go.
And we get all the water bags.
Right.
Tears. I be
My friends, I be crying all the time. But without that conversation, I don't think that she would have known that that's why I am the way I am. Mm-hmm. But I say that to say, I always wanted to tell her that. Because they always said growing up and now in my adult life that I'm just this hard, mean girl. And I'm like, well, I wanted to say, well, you didn't give me the chance to be this soft, nice girl. But she was very open and able to have that conversation. But I just wasn't sure, because I don't think as a mother, anybody wants to hear, well, I'm the reason why you're not like this around me. But she was very open. I was just very terrified to tell her that this is the reason why I'm like this as an adult.
Yeah. And that's proving the point even further, that she was willing to meet you where you were and accepted the fact that, okay, so I did do that. How can we move forward from this? I think that most of the time as adults, when we have conversations, we don't go into the conversation with the solution already. Mm-hmm. You go into it with the problem, but you don't go into it, so how do we fix it? I always find myself now, if I'm talking to someone and someone's talking to me, I'm like, okay, so how do we fix it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not dismissing what you are saying. I honor and I understand. I'm going to repeat back to you what I heard so that I have a clear understanding. But how do we move from here? Because if you dumped, we said it, we going to leave it? Or what do you need from me? How do I change this action? Or how do I move going forward? Or what is your expectations of me? But that's because I care.
Right.
Understand, you may have conversations with people who do not care, but you got to be okay with that. Because that's understanding and how you need to move going forward. Was it a seasonal friendship? Was it a seasonal relationship? Was like, okay, well, now we're not serving each other to our best capacity, but we're operating our genes in this level. So maybe we're not going to call or talk as much, or maybe I don't need to see you as that in that manner as a mentor, or whatever that looks like, to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But people don't like conversation.
I think the expectation is not for somebody to pacify or pat cake your emotions. It's for them to hear you out and then decide on both ends, what can I do better? How can we resolve this? How can we get to the solution so we're not here again? Because oftentimes you find yourself not talking about it and then you end up there again. Or it's happened over the course of years and then you end up exploding and saying, well, you've been doing this forever, and the opposite person never knew. So it it comes down to healthy communication.
Yeah. And having real peace.
Yeah.
Because, you got peace situation with the Lord, right? My peace comes from God and the circumstances. I'm talking about what's in your control, just based off of opening your mouth and having a conversation. Yes, you have things that you have to just have natural peace about already. But if you have some things in your life, people that you can talk to, family that you can get it right with, that wants to get it right with you, then you can then have that conversation, especially if they don't know. You don't know how many times people don't even know that you are offended.
Yep.
And you mad at them. And they don't even know they did something. If you would give them an opportunity to fix it, give them that much. If it matters to you that much, give them space to say, hey, remember when you said this, or when you did this, or when you didn't show up for this, that really affected me.
Yeah.
If they matter enough to see what their heart is. Now you don't have to question. You don't got to think about it, because you're going to hear from the horse's mouth yourself. So I'm getting ready to tell you something, and I really don't know, how to feel about it, and I'm really nervous about it. Express that. Vulnerability will get you so far. Mm-hmm. Transparency will get you so far. Stop trying to be like, I don't need it, I don't got it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You were just crying yesterday.
Right.
It's okay to say that. As a matter of fact, this had me in tears because it means that much to me. So I want to let you know that this conversation is hard for me to even have with you right now so that you can show all your cards. If you're vulnerable at the front, then you have to worry about it going back and forth because I didn't come with any weapons.
Right.
I came with emotions and I'm vulnerable right now. So please, and depending on how they deal with your vulnerability will tell you everything you need to know.
That's good. I'm gonna do better. I'm working on me. That's the first priority. And then I feel like everything else will come into line.
Yep, I got God, Jesus, Holy Ghost, and my therapist. And
hello. The therapist, hello, is added into all of that. Mm-hmm. It's gonna make a beautiful being, okay? But as always, in herself, she is loved.
In herself, she is beautiful.
In herself, she is strong. See you next week.
See y'all.